If it bleeds, we can take it out, right? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for another top 10 villain weaknesses in horror movies. For this list, we're looking at some of the most iconic villains from horror flicks and pulling apart their frailties, be it unique weaponry or the age-old keep running and don't look back. Take notes, people, you never know what's around the corner. Number 10, Long Distances, It Follows. This 2014 movie is certainly one of the more creative scarefests out there, with its main antagonist taking the form of a strange curse that's passed on through intercourse.
It's gonna follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you.
Throughout the movie, people try to get rid of said curse by sleeping with others, only for the other person to be bumped off and the curse to come straight back to the sender.
If it kills her, it gets me. It goes straight down the line to whoever started it.
So how do you escape it? Well, we know the monster-like creature that comes after you has a physical form, and we know that it only ever travels at a walking pace. So why not stay on the move and travel between countries or even continents? Think about it, a permanent vacation of survival. Number 9, Water, Signs. A horror movie hinged on tension as opposed to jump scares, Signs is a classic case of it's what you don't see that creeps you out. Feeding us sightings of aliens in dribs and drabs throughout the movie, the characters are stricken with confusion and fear when they finally come face to face with one. Oh! How do they defend themselves? Well, it turns out that these aliens are vulnerable to water. Yep, plain old H2O. In fact, even a glass of it is enough to burn them. You could question why such creatures would invade a planet filled with the stuff, but let's just skip that for now and cross our fingers for rain.
What's the matter?
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
Number 8, Lack of Belief, Candyman. This legendary slasher movie shows us just how dangerous fear can be.
An entire community starts attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
The Candyman is an urban legend who apparently comes and hunts you down with a hook for a hand if you say his name 5 times in a mirror.
He looked in the mirror and he said,
Candyman. Candyman.
So how do you stop him? Well, not saying his name in a mirror is a good start, but he could still come after you if summoned by someone else. The Candyman's Achilles heel, though, is belief, or lack thereof. His existence is fueled by people's fear and knowledge of him.
Candy milk, give me. Candyman isn't real. He's just a story. You know, like Dracula or Frankenstein.
Sure, burning him works too, but if you just avoid talking about him and fearing him, the guy's got nothing. And it probably doesn't help that we've just written an entry on him. Yikes.
This is the scariest story I've ever heard, and it's totally true.
Number 7, Any Kind of Light, Lights Out. As horror movie premises go, this is probably as basic as it gets, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying. Diana is a clawed creature that lurks in the shadows and attacks you once the lights go out, with her backstory revealing a sensitivity to light.
The patient suffers from a unique skin disorder that manifests itself in an extreme sensitivity to light. Patient's stay here has been very problematic.
And we're talking any kind of light, from sunlight to the glow of a cell phone screen. But not black lights, avoid those, they don't work. As we see throughout the movie, keeping the lights on can be quite difficult when the thing that's hunting you keeps turning them off. So our advice is, if Diana comes knocking, carry a torch and a disco ball, and you should be okay.
Okay, first priority, we put in some safeguards.
Number 6, New Life, Final Destination 2. How do you cheat the grave? Wow, what a question. Well, if you find yourself surviving a situation that you surely should have perished in, and that the Grim Reaper is out to get you, as is the case in the Final Destination franchise, there is one thing that could work.
What are you talking about?
New life.
In the second installment, we learn that new life can trump the curse.
Only new life can defeat death.
What the hell does that mean?
So let's say that there's a group of people who should have passed away in an accident. If one of them has a baby, the curse is broken and the Reaper will leave all of you alone. Talk about the miracle of childbirth.
Claire, I can't find Eugene.
No, don't worry. She had the baby.
It's okay. It's over. It's okay.
Number 5, avoiding screens and making copies. The Ring. Okay, so let's say you were silly enough to watch Samara's dreaded videotape, and that she's coming to hunt you down in 7 days.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it?
Facing her probably isn't such a good idea, but you can avoid the curse if you make a copy of the tape and show it to someone else.
You taking the tape?
I don't want her to see it.
Whoa, you don't want her to see it? What about me seeing it?
They'll simply inherit your bad luck, unfortunately for them. There's always the option of avoiding screens and, wells, though. Samara typically comes after you through a TV screen after crawling out of a well. So when the time comes, avoid those things and you might be okay. Number 4. Thirst, steaks, garlic, and crucifixes. Various. It's pretty obvious that with this entry, we're talking about vampires, although some of these methods have proven useful against a bunch of other monsters and ghouls. Just ask Will Smith. By far the most famous vampire stories are that of Count Dracula, with movies like Bram Stoker's Dracula and various Hammer horror classics.
We're strong in the Lord! In the power of his might! We're strong in the Lord!
One thing's for sure, vampires are to be feared, but they also have a wide variety of weaknesses. These include a thirst for blood, a wooden stake to the heart, garlic, crucifixes, holy water, and sunlight. And they can even be trapped in their coffins if you place a wild rose on top of it.
Garlic don't work, boys! Try holy water, death breath!
Number 3, holy water and exorcism. The Exorcist. Another religion-infused entry next, revolving around an evil, mischievous demon called Pazuzu who possesses a 12-year-old girl. Like many possession movies we've seen, The Exorcist shows us that a demon acts through a host, and the best way to rid the host of said demon is through exorcism.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Throughout The Exorcist, we can see that holy water harms the demon, which is a start, but holy water also harms the host.
Be silent!
A more effective defense is banishment. With a properly executed exorcism, the demon can be removed from a host and the host's soul can be saved. Just make sure you're not around for the demon to jump ship and take over your body.
Take me! Come into me! God damn you! Take me!
Number 2, avoiding the Myers, Halloween franchise. It's strange how someone in a Captain Kirk mask walking really slowly is utterly terrifying. And no, we're not going to say running is Michael Myers' weakness, although it kind of is. But there is an easier way to avoid the unrelenting white-masked psycho. Just stay away from his family and his hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff. You can either ignore it or you can help me to stop it.
Or at least when it's Halloween, because he only seems to come out then. Michael has an uncontrollable desire to end the lives of his entire family.
That girl, that Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister. She was born 2 years before he was committed. 2 years after, his parents died and she was adopted by the Strodes.
So if you know a family member of his, then make sure you stay away from them. And that includes any houses they may have previously lived in.
Does anybody live here? No, not since 1963 when it happened. Every kid in Haddonfield thinks this place is haunted. They may be right.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, aiming for the head, Night of the Living Dead. Considered by many to be the mother of all zombie movies, George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead gave us many of the zombie tropes we still love and fear today.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
The slow, clumsy walk, the farmhouse setting, and of course the number 1 zombie weakness, headshots. This movie laid the foundations for zombie defense. And apparently the best way to stop an undead creature in the 60s, and today in fact, is by destroying its brain or taking off its head entirely.
Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
So a gunshot to the head or a heavy swing of a machete should do it. Or you could always just try and blend in.
Right, let's all try it together, shall we? 1, 2, 3.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.